results should go Fenerbahce's way, so a lot at stakes here. As we look at the starting lineup of Fenerbahce Istanbul, Eric McCollum, Marko Guduric, Nico Melli, Nigel Hayes-Davis, and Tarek Biberovic. Really no surprises there for coach Shadas Jasikevičius, who would like to get in a playoff mentality. On the other side for Gordy Herbert, it's Nick Weiler-Babb, Carson Edwards, Niels Giffey, Vladimir Lucic, and Devin Booker. So Niels Giffey getting his starting lineup position instead of Johannes Vochtman. Has been the usual starter for the most part in the season. As we are looking at the man with the whistle, it's the crew chief Damir Javor. And it'll be assisted with umpires Carlos Cortez and Luca Cardum. A three-man with the whistles in a very important game. And if the motto of Euroleague basketball is every game matters and devotion, it is incredible, but going into the last round of the regular season, nothing has been decided. We are not sure about the standings. We know the 10 teams that will qualify for the postseason play, but we don't know. Not a single team has a certainty about placing in the standings. What a competition, what a season. This is Euroleague basketball. Looking at Carson Edwards and Wade Baldwin, the fourth. That's our key matchup between the electrifying scores. Really a lot to look forward in this game, and of course the atmosphere is electrifying and spectacular here at the SAP Garden. Everybody on their feet. A lot of traveling fans of Fenerbahce. Really behind the bench and behind the Fenerbahce basket. So many of them turning up here. Always great to see the traveling fans. I would estimate about 3,000 to 4,000. Of course, Fenerbahce, one of the biggest clubs in Europe, as the focus of the number 2 scorer in the competition. Carson Edwards averaging over 20 points per game, 20.3 to be precise. Is he going to turn up again? Scored 9 3-pointers in the loss against Maccabi, 9 of 18 from downtown. So Carson Edwards enjoying his best season in Euroleague so far in his career. A player that does not give up on a single possession offensively or defensively, a very physical guard. Now we are just moments away from the tip-off. And it will be between Nico Melli and Devin Booker at the center court. And really a deafening atmosphere at the SAP Garden. The Turkish fans are on their feet and they are jumping up. Well, you can tell that so much is at stake here with Bayern winning the tip-off. Nick Weiler-Babb starting the offense. Both teams losing in last round, so they really want to get back in winning ways. That's what their coaches talked about before the game, and the pass is intercepting from Weiler-Babb to Booker. Nico Melli playing smart basketball in the lane as Marko Guduric passes the ball to McCollum. McCollum with a 3-pointer. He steps in it and scores it. Eric McCollum, 37 years of age, perhaps playing best basketball of his career in his 3rd Euroleague season. It's Booker up top who hands it off to Weiler-Babb. Weiler-Babb driving, floating, and another turnover by Weiler-Babb. So 2 quick turnovers, but for Nick Weiler-Babb, that's very unusual in first minute of the game. Usually a very focused point guard for FC Bayern Munich. Fenerbahce fouled Eric McCollum, a push foul called on Carson Edwards. Shadas Jasikevičius said we really need to pay all the attention we can. You see the replay of the last foul. defensively to the shooters. FC Bayern Munich just playing spectacular basketball from the outside. Biberovic with the ball up top. It goes to Guduric. And another steal here, this time by Bayern on the fast break. While a bat opens the score for Bayern. That is 2-3. And finally, Bayern getting on the way after turning the ball over 2 times in the opening sequence. Inside is Nigel Hayes-Davis with the easy deuce after a dump pass underneath the basket. Nice cut behind the defense. That's an intelligent basketball player, number 8 scorer in the competition, Nigel Hayes-Davis. Booker thought about the three-pointer, passes it off to Lucic. Lucic looks inside to Giffey. Giffey shoots over Hayes-Davis. That's good, simple basketball, and Niels Giffey is one of the most patient players in the competition. The ball is lost, and the last touch by Guduric on the drive. He's very good, of course, driving to his strong hand, driving left. Just lost the hand. Look at it again. Yeah, he draws the contact, but it was Vladimir Lucic reaching in. And here, a steal and a pass by Vladimir Lucic. The first 2 points for Bayern. Inside they go to Lucic in the post against Biberovic. Experience against youth. And it's a good defense by Tarik Biberovic as he forced Vladimir Lucic out of bounds on the spin play. And there you see another turnover. That's turnover number 3 for the home side, FC Bayern Munich. They're going to have to sharpen it up as Fenerbahce goes to Biberovic in the corner. Second three-pointer of the game after McCollum. It's Biberovic, who statistically is playing also best basketball of his career, especially in scoring and three-point percentage. A quick three-pointer, make it 3. Eric McCollum. And Fenerbahce is looking extremely focused in the first 3 minutes of the game. It's an 11-4 lead. Wow, a bad shots by Melli. Melli bringing the ball up, goes back to McCollum. Sets a screen, they go inside the dome. It's a mid-corner by Nigel Hayes-Davis, who's got a size advantage against Giffey. Melli ends up with the ball, shoots another three-pointer. It is a total aerial assault by visitors Fenerbahce Istanbul. And here we have a timeout called by Gordy Herbert of FC Bayern. Down 10 early. Bayern 4, Fenerbahce 14.
Edwards, because if this is playing, Edwards play second side. Nico, a little bit more step out and we maybe. If Edwards is 1-2, we look at probably 1. You know what I mean? So far, so good. We play Marco, Eric. We play one down post, okay? When Nigel has the ball, Marco, go stagger for Patty. If you don't have a shot, go post. Now let's go 1 through 5, jump 1 through 5, jump.
Well, if Sharas Istakevicius was asking for playoff basketball, there he has it. A sharp-shooting Fenerbahce Istanbul. 2 3-pointers by Eric McCollum, one by Tarik Biberovic and Nico Melli. That's the reason why Fenerbahce is ahead by 10 points at the moment with 6:32 to play in the first quarter. It is 14-4 lead, and really Fenerbahce just jumping out. Gangbusters on the home side, FC Bayern Munich. I have not really seen it this year in this building. Bayern being dominated so much like they've been so far by Fenerbahce. And another turnover and a steal by Nico Melli. Very active Fenerbahce players in the lane. He's getting their hands and feet very active. Inside they go to the mismatch. Hayes Davis swings the ball around the horn. It's corner wide open three-pointer. Missed by Goodrich, but the offensive rebound goes to Melly. Melly with another three-pointer immediately. They are in the zone. Fenerbahce absolutely feeling it. And entering any doubts after dropping a game against Barcelona last week, if they are in a playoff mode, they certainly are on top of their game early on here at the SAP Garden. Giffey, a shot fake, the shot is short from long distance. A very rough start here for FC Bayern Munich. Hayes Davis is grabbed from behind by Niels Giffey. There you see him. Giffey is beat, so he just grabs him from behind. And I think it's going to be 2 free throws, even though Niels Giffey was pointing to the floor. There you see him pleading his case to the referees, but they were of different opinion. He gave the continuation to Hayes Davis. He said he was in the act of shooting, which translates into 2 free throws for the American forward, Nigel Hayes Davis. A player that has scored the most points in a single game in Euroleague history, 50 points last season in a game at home in Istanbul against Alba Berlin. Has also played 9 NBA games for 3 teams in season 17-18. Played for Lakers, Toronto, and Sacramento before arriving in Europe, in Turkey to be precise, in season 18-19. He signed with the Turkish side, Galatasaray Istanbul, before making his way through Žalgiris Barcelona to Fenerbahce, where he was the member of the first All-Euroleague team last season. And he has improved his scoring average, so a spectacular season for Nigel Hayes Davis, who scored both free throws and a 14-point lead for Fenerbahce. Napier with the ball now, who's subbed in the game. Oh, and one off the glass. What a shot by Napier. I think that Bayern will take anything they can get at the moment, being down 14. There is the take against Eric McCollum, the shake and bake. Here the contact off the glass. Thank you very much. That's what Sebastian Napier, who averages double digits, 10.5 points per game this season. Here with the free throw, a chance to complete a three-point play, which he does. Cutting the deficit down to 11, 7-18 with 4:56 to play. Also, Andy Ups, who's guarding the ball, is in the lineup. Playing the defense against Devin Hall, number 20, who's also on the floor for Fenerbahce. Hall with the ball. Thought about a penetration, backed it out. He takes another three-pointer and misses it left. Napier is there to collect the long rebound. Dribbles up, goes inside the Euro step. What a kick ball, so it's going to be new 14 seconds for Bayern, who try to push the ball up with Sebastian Napier. There is Napier on his drive, just Euro steps around the defender, and there Tariq Biberovic with a kick ball. Still a double-digit lead for Fenerbahce. Booker. Oh, Giffey to Andy Ups. One of the best shooters in Euroleague, who's been a bit off last month or so after scoring 11 three-pointers in the game against Barcelona here in this building. A Euroleague record. Well, the referees correct their initial call. They're the last one to touch. It seems it was Ken Burge or Tariq Biberovic. There, Ken Burge, number 92. A missed shot from the outside by Devin Booker, who stepped out. Hayes Davis very patient against Andy Ops. That is such a smart basketball by Hayes Davis, who did not absolutely rush anything with the advantage that he had over Ops. Now he has to play defense against Vochtman. And a push foul is called on Ken Burge after fake by Devin Booker. Devin Booker, an instrumental part for Bayern in the first part of the season, and went down with a knee injury that he sustained in the German league. Was out for approximately 3 months, so a long-term absence, but Devin Booker back in full contact. Of course, some time required to get back in his normal swing of things. Scored the first free throw. The first part of the season, it was him and Carson Edwards in top 10 scorers in the competition. So for Bayern's sake, let's hope that Devin Booker will be able to find his former shape and form as soon as possible. The score stands at 9-20. With Fenerbahce patiently working the ball to Hayes Davis, who missed it long on a floater going for the middle. Napier to Vochtman. Vochtman driving, gathers up. A smart move there by Vochtman, who had a good size advantage against Dante Hall, who tried to recover. Baldwin to Hayes Davis. They look inside to Burge, nothing there, so Biberovic takes it. Biberovic driving, tries to step around Giffey, and he does. A nice move, good footwork by Tarik Biberovic, who is averaging career best 10 points per game. Really a breakthrough season for Tarik Biberovic last year under coach Sharas Yasikevicius. Bosnian Turkish player Tarik Biberovic, as there was a foul on the play called on Ken Burge. There you see the traveling fans of Fenerbahce. There, I beg your pardon, it was on Nigel Hayes Davis, number 11, as he held on to the body of Devin Booker, who was trying to free himself up and go to the basket on the long pass. Nothing there, as Elias Harris is in the lineup for Bayern instead of Booker. Napier driving, hanging in the air, getting the contact, but missing the shot. Baldwin pushing the ball up, and the foul is called on Harris. That's going to be third team foul for Bayern. There you see, just really aggressive in the open court. Wade Baldwin had a spectacular season last year with Maccabi. Almost pushed them to the Final Four if it was not for the hamstring injury. With the ball, Wade Baldwin. That's how we know him, the superb athlete and a great shooter from mid-range. Hangs in the air, knocks it down. 24-11. Fenerbahce is just really doing everything well here in the first quarter. Ops driving and missing, but it's Elias Harris with the follow-up. That's the way to stay with the ball by Elias Harris. Biberovic out to Dechampierre, number 21. A lot of substitutions. That's what Gordy Herbert was talking about. There are 10-12 man deep Fenerbahce as Tarik Biberovic scores from mid-distance. He's up to 7 points, and he's the high scorer for Fenerbahce. Not missing a shot, 2 for 2 from 2, and 1-on-1 from long distance. Tarik Biberovic having a very good game here at the SAP Garden. And the Ops off the dribble three-pointer. Just misses it long. And the Ops is number 2 in three-pointers made, 2.9 per game. I said it before, he made 11 three-pointers in the game against Barcelona here in this very building. There you see the physical battle between the two big men, Elias Harris and Ken Burge. Also Dechampierre getting into the mix. Baldwin to Dechampierre. Dechampierre steps through but misses really short. Thought he had a good look at the basket. It seems that the ball slipped out of his hand. His minutes and production down in a major way. The Canadian international, Dechampierre. There, the Fenerbahce fans in a festive mood. Well, they got a reason. Their team been up 26-13. It's been all smiles as Andy Oates misses his first three-point attempts. He just cannot find his mark here today. But he can get going very quickly, Andy Oates. You better keep an eye on him. Birch to Bonzi Colson. That's a nice cooperation between the two big men of Fenerbahce Beko. Good presence of mind there by Ken Burgess to dish it back to Cutting Colson. And the foul is called on Baldwin. A pretty hard foul, if you ask me. On Shabazz Napier. He's trying to get away from him. There, a look of concern on the face of Carson Edwards. I said it before, Bayern can finish, if victorious here today, as high as number 4 in the standings. Should they lose, they can end up as low as number 10. So it's just exactly what they really want to avoid. As the buzzer sounds, so the first 10 minutes are finished here. It's been a one-sided story here as the visitors stormed on the floor of the SAP Garden and completely dominated the first quarter. Here's the score after first 10 minutes of play from Munich. It's FC Bayern Munich 13, Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul 28. And it really was almost a perfect quarter for Fenerbahce that started off with 4 3-pointers of their own. One of them here, Eric McCollum. Here the first 2 points for Bayern with a layup there from Weiler-Babb after the steal by Lucic. And here Nico Melli playing defense on the inside and just reading the defense perfectly. Nigel Hayes-Davis to Melli for another 3-pointer. One of the bright spots was Shabazz Napier off the bench, who had an N1 play there. Well, Fenerbahce just played very effective basketball. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated. Just reading the defense. Again, Bonzi Colson cutting to the lane. Scoring it off the glass. That's why Fenerbahce is up. Look at the percentages, 75 from 2 and 71% from 3. No 3-pointers scored for a team that is number 3 in scoring and number 1 in 3-point percentages. The home side Bayern, the best player of the quarter with 6 points and an assist. Nico Melli, who got to start. Well, really not Bayern that we've seen here in this building in the first quarter in the 34th regular season round of the Turkish Airlines Euroleague. Not scoring a 3-pointer after being number 1 in 3-point percentages scored. Let's see if Bayern can get it going in the second quarter. They really need their shooters. And they need to stop Fenerbahce that scored 28 points in the first 10 minutes of the game. They try to push up the defense with Vladimir Lucic playing tough against Pierre. It's wide open. Devin Hall, thank you very much. Another 3-pointer, increasing the already incredible percentage of 71% from downtown to 75, 6 of 8. If my math is correct, that is an unbelievably high percentage. Napier, that's the screen from Harris. Harris in the open spot, hands it back. He's gonna have to shoot it. He does a desperation 3-pointer. He makes it off a turnaround. Elias Harris with a spectacular shot. Oh my, What a play. A bit of a luck involved, but I think Bayern's going to take it. Bonzi Colson on a cut. Player that's got an unbelievable wingspan, misses, but Ken Burge does what he does best, and that is offensive rebounding. Averages 3.5 rebounds per game. Another steal there, this time by Bonzi Colson. 3-on-1, an easy finish, and it's all Fenerbahce here in Munich, the Bavarian capital. It's been all team in the yellow. Jumping up to the biggest lead of the game. It is 19 at the moment. Bayern 16, Fenerbahce 35.
We're playing 11 for Bonzi. We're playing 11. Wait, it's not Devon. Bonzi, you prepare. You hit him. Wait. Wait, going away. When this happened, DP, you go get Devon. Okay? You pass the ball to Devon. Nico, immediately hit. 1 through 5 jump. 1 through 5 jump. Again, if you guard, you guard. Somewhere you have to jump. You have to close here. We come from opposite. If they beat us, now.
Well, it's been a very tough going so far for Bayern Munich. They have turned the ball over just 6 times in this game, shooting only 1 of 7. There's the last turnover. Turnover number 6 by Carson Edwards that resulted in a 3-on-1 fast break. Only Johannes Vogtman really getting back there on defense. So that's simple, beautiful basketball by Fenerbahce Beko. Well, if we are just really expecting a dogfight here, it's been all about that. It's Napier with the ball. Let's see how they execute out the timeout. They got 7-6 to shoot on the shot clock. A tough three-pointer. Not really a good look at the basket. Johannes Vogtman there. Tried to shoot it over de Champier. It's 1 out of 8. 12.5% for the home side, after averaging 39.3% for the season as a team. Carson Edwards. Edwards operating against Hall. Swings his way through and scores it on the reverse. Carson Edwards, team's leading scorer, number 2 in the competition, averaging over 20 points per game, and a push-off, a smart play there to initiate a contact by Vladimir Lucic against Bonzi Colson. There you see Lucic just getting in the face of Bonzi Colson, who was coming up the lane after the screen there. The clear push-off with the extended right hand. The referee's on top of it. That was an easy one to make. There you see the team turnover, 6-4. And make it 7 after that last pass that was intended on the cut for Weiler-Babb. Goodrich to Colson, who almost lost the ball. Back to Goodrich. Inside they look for Melly. He does get the ball against Weiler-Babb, who has to foul him to stop the offense. That's very patient execution there by Fenerbahce. Not really trying to pick in their spots. Doing the fundamentals well. Great footwork on the post-up, trying to get a deep position there by Nico Melli. As Devin Booker is back into the lineup, subbing in for Elias Harris. It's really important for Bayern to have Devin Booker in best possible shape in the postseason play, as Wade Baldwin draws the foul on the drive. Going left. They're drawing the contact from Vogtman. That would be number 2 team foul for Bayern. It was in the act of shooting, so Fenerbahce is going to have a very good free throw shooter. And the line with Baldwin. Wade Baldwin, who just turned 29 years of age on the 29th of March. So belated happy birthday to Wade Baldwin IV, who played his collegiate basketball for 2 seasons for Vanderbilt University. Was a first-round draft pick. Number 17, played in 56 games in his NBA career. Scored his free throws and is going to the bench. Wade Baldwin. His scoring average down from his Maccabi season last year, but more competitive team here in Fenerbahce. 12 deep, one of the deepest teams in the competition. Edwards closely guarded by Marko Guduric. He just really brought out his defense. Got piece of face of Carson Edwards. Apologizes to him there, you saw it. A good show of sportsmanship there on the crossover. The hand of Marko Guduric goes across the face of Carson Edwards. A foul and out of bounds play with 7:02 to play in the second. It's Booker going inside to Lucic. Lucic around Colson. That was a quick move by Vladimir Lucic. An immediate spin to the baseline. No help side coming. A beautiful read there. Immediately just spins off the defender. And the only way that Colson could stop the shot of Vladimir Lucic was by fouling him. So 2 free throws coming up from the team captain, Vladimir Lucic, also a member of the Serbian national team. Had difficult last 2 seasons with injuries, elbow injury, leg injury. A player that spent his youth years with Partizan Belgrade, Vladimir Lucic, also played for Valencia. And kick ball by Wilderbab. Off the pass by Guduric. Marko Guduric in his 7th seasons with Fenerbahce on 2 stints. Went to the NBA to Memphis Grizzlies for half a season before coming back to the Turkish capital. And just really feeling comfortable, I would say, this season under the guidance of head coach Hrungness Jasikevičius. Ready to inbound the ball, goes to Eric McCollum. McCollum driving, and it's Guduric with a 3-pointer. The ball just rims out. Good look for Guduric. It's Lucic with a quick 3-pointer, a short one, and it's Nico Melli with a defensive rebound. Guduric with another 3-pointer after the missed one. There you see the confidence. Immediately going back to the shot that he just missed. It's been difficult going. Bit of a mental lapse here again. Tough pass ahead. Missed pass, I should say. That's turnover number 8 for Bayern. They are down by 18 points in the second quarter, 1937. As Nigel Hayes-Davis hands it off to Marko Guduric. Guduric to Melli. Melli with a 3-pointer. Again from long distance. It's Nico Melli. 3 of 3. Has not missed a long distance shot. So much patience there for Nico Melli. There, the foul on Melli. A bit of a frustration, and here the last shot. Melli over Voigtman. Just really stretching on the defense and making it difficult for Bayern. Lucic driving, Lucic losing the ball. And it's Fenerbahce in the corner. Hayes Davis. Hayes Davis going around to McCollum. And McCollum just stepped out of bounds right when he was receiving the ball from Hayes Davis. So a rare turnover for Fenerbahce. Shadas Isikevich is there signaling to his player, Hayes Davis, that he should have shot it perhaps. Well, that's what you like. If coach is calling you too unselfish, it's not a bad complication. Carson Edwards misses on the layup. And he was closely guarded by Goodrich and Melly, and he listens to his coach. It's Hayes Davis with a three-pointer. There you have it. Shadas Isikevich's as Hayes Davis just a sequence before to take an open shot, and there he did. Knocking down another three-pointer for the visitors, much to the delight of numerous Fenerbahce fans that are here at the SAP Garden. Booker against Melly, almost loses the ball inside to go to Weiler-Bab. That's a good read from Booker, who almost lost the ball but saw Weiler-Bab just sealing in on McCollum. That is a high percentage shot. 21-42, 22-point lead for Fenerbahce. McCollum for another three-pointer. Ball almost went in, but the rebound goes to Vochtman. Vochtman brings it up, hands it off to Edwards. Edwards doubled to Vochtman to Booker. Booker thought about a three-pointer, but drives instead. He goes inside to Lucic, and it's a 3-second call. And that's fairly rare, but Vladimir Lucic really camped it out there in the paint. That's what the referee saw. So no pass for Booker this time. Inside to Vladimir Lucic, who was well positioned, but just spent too much time in the paint as we have a timeout on the floor. It is 3:50 to play in the second quarter. It's just really been all Fenerbahce here at the SAP Garden. Being up top by more than 20 points. It is Bayern 21, Fenerbahce 43.
Here. Hey, we're back to a 2-3 zone. 2-3 zone. Hey, run a ball screen. We're in ice. We're in ice. All right, you got to come up. We're in ice and run a ball screen. And then we match up. All right, you weren't here. We worked on it. 2-3 zone. All right. Hey, we bump down first side. Bump down first side. One time. One time. Down this end, we run 3 down. 3 down for Neil. 3 down for Neil. 3 down for Neil. Let's go. Come on.
Well, a team that is averaging 87.5 points per game, just really not finding any way to score. Only 21 points for the home side. FC Bayern Munich so far in the outing. In a crucial game in the 34th round of the Turkish Airlines regular season, where a lot is at stake. I will repeat that Bayern can finish as high as 4th and as low as 10th, depending on the outcome, not only of this game, but many other games. And there will be played, 6 of them to be played today and 3 tomorrow. After the miss by Hayes Davis, it's Weiler-Bab starting the offense for Bayern. That is down by 22 in the second quarter, and a tough pass, high-low, but it was too much communicated between Booker and Giffey. So another turnover for Bayern as Marko Guduric has the ball now. Looks to Hayes Davis, who is wide open but misses that time. Hayes Davis got 8 points and 3 assists so far. A very active Hayes Davis defensively there, jumps in front of Devin Booker. This is exactly the aggressive offense that you want to see if you are a coach in the post. Don't settle for the defensive position behind the player, but just swim, try to get inside of him, in front of him, I should say. Oh, a great effort there by Hayes Davis. So we have substitutions on both sides. It's Napier in the lineup for Bayern, and Biberovic and Baldwin in for Fenerbahce, and coach Sharas Izakevicius, who just keeps subbing to keep the fresh legs on the floor. Ahead by 22 points, things are working out. Danko Brankovic, the tallest guy on the roster of Bayern, also after a miss by Weiler-Bath from 3. Shooters is really taking a night off there for Bayern. Inside they go to Booker. Booker double team inside. He goes to Brankovic. Brankovic takes the contact and is able to push the ball in. Good strong catch. And a layup, or lay-in I should say, by Danko Brankovic there. A good pass by Booker. That will be third assist by Devin Booker. He's been really good on passing the ball. With defense of Fenerbahce focusing on Devin Booker, he's been passing the ball well. This time to Danko Brankovic, who makes it a three-point play. They're cutting the deficit under 20, 24-43. With 2 minutes 36, Nico Melli goes to the bench to take a breather. And we have Jocelyn Bango, a new signee that signed just 7 games ago from the ACB team of Zaragoza from Spain. In his rookie Euroleague season, number 44. Now underneath the baskets, fighting for position, getting the ball now. He passes off to Hayes Davis, make it rain. And it's what Nigel Hayes Davis says. Or does he not? As we had the review, I think it was the crew chief, Damir Yavor, asking for the review if the ball left the hand of Hayes Davis on time. Let's see a different angle there. The ball goes up. So they wave it off. That's extremely close. They don't. No, it's counted. I beg your pardon. So the score is 24-46. As Devin Booker gets a nice pass on the inside, he splits the defense and is able to score it. So the three-pointer counts by Hayes Davis. He's got 11 points, a high scorer, and also the passer with 3 assists with the ball again. Goes to Hall, back to Hayes Davis. Hayes Davis averaging the most points in his EuroLeague career this season. Hall with a short three-pointer. The shot clock was winding down, so he had to take that shot. Napier to Giffey to Weiler-Bath. Inside to go to Booker. Booker finds Giffey on the inside. Beautiful passing and cut behind the defense by Niels Giffey to the very open spot. Easy laying there right from underneath the basket. And an assist number 4 for Devin Booker. It is a timeout called by Fenerbahce. They are still up by 18 points. It's Bayern 28, Fenerbahce 46.
Go inside. We pass the ball inside. We got to be strong with it. They're reaching. We got to shorten it. All right. Both of us going to come up on the sides. The wings. So what you do? So we'll pass it up. Hey, listen. We're 2-2-1. 2-2-1. We're like this. Guys up here. All right. Good pressure on the ball. And we're back. Hey, dog goes here. We're back to a 2-3. 2-3. They make the first pass. We match up in 5. All right, we match up in 5. All right, but we show 2-3. We gotta show it. Let's go.
Well, Gordy Herbert talking about the physicality of Fenerbahce. Telling his players really to firm up on the inside when they receive the pass. Just expect a lot of contact from the defending players. And asking the players to finish strong, take the contact, go hard to the basket or to the hoop. This is exactly what you can expect if you're facing Fenerbahce and Coach Aris Istakavicius. A lot of physicality coming your way. Biberovic from the corner thought about a three-pointer, but drives instead and loses the ball. He does. It's out of bounds for Bayern. Very emotional. Coach Istakavicius is on the sidelines. A bad read there by Biberovic. With a decent look at the basket. Barry Biberovic averaging 53% from downtown, so perhaps he could have taken the three-pointer. Brankovic back to Waller. Bab gets a screen from the big man. It's Booker with a three-pointer. Ball just touched every part of the rim before rolling out. So a bad break there for Bayern. It's 1 out of 11, so in single digits. If you talk about the percentage from downtown, 9% to be precise. That is an extremely low shooting percentage for Bayern Munich in this season. Weiler Bab does not help the cause. 1 of 12. Goes for another one and knocks it down. Finally one rings down. That's the way to stay with the ball. Getting a second shot, very much to the displeasure of Šarūnas Jasikevičius on the sidelines. He did not like it in one bit. We got 13 seconds to go. Fenerbahce up by 15. And his offensive foul on the screen. That would be Joseph Bango setting a screen on Wade Baldwin. There's a quick sub there. Bango out and Ken Birch in. There you see movement in the screen on Weiler Bab. An easy call for the referees. And here's the second three-point attempt by Weiler Bab. Only a second successful three-pointer of the game. But making it somewhat playable here. Down, quote-unquote, only 15 points with 8 seconds left in the second quarter. It is ball for Bayern. Let's see if they can get a good shot, good look at the basket. And take some points off the deficit. While we're back to Obst to Booker. Napier fakes out three-pointer, does not go in. That was a good look at the baskets for Shabazz Napier after faking out Hall, who just flew by him. So a very difficult night here for the shooters. And the last play, a very unselfish one there, was Devin Booker making the extra pass to Shabazz Napier, who did not have all the time in the world, but got a good look at the basket. And the score stands after the first 20 minutes of play. It is Bayern Munich 31, Fenerbahce Istanbul 46. And the 5 men for Bayern. And we'll start the second half. It's going to be Carson Edwards, Vladimir Lucic, Shabazz Napier, Johannes Vochtman, and Devin Booker. So change from the first half. Vochtman and Napier will start the second half instead of Weiler Bab and Niels Giffey. Well, let's see the first attack for Fenerbahce Beko as Bayern won the tip-off. And we'll get to start the fourth quarter. Marko Guduric going inside with the lob to Ken Birch, who gets the ball, collects himself, and goes up over Napier, who did not really have a fighting chance against that player. A good half a head taller than him. So good opening sequence there for Fenerbahce Beko as Napier goes inside to Booker, who tried to reverse it with the right hand, standing right underneath the basket. Was pushed up from behind by Ken Birch. Somewhat of a late whistle there. That's, I guess, what Ken Burge is talking to referees. Here the pass to Burge. And the alley-oop collected, comes down with it. That's a smart play. He just didn't really have a good chance to go directly from the alley-oop. But we have 2 free throws for Devin Booker, who is simply known as the Book. That was point number 5. Make it stay there. 5 points, 3 assists. That's the tally for Devin Booker. Hayes Davis driving, thought about the free throw line jumper. The ball backs out to Goodrich. Goodrich swings it cross court to Biberovic. Biberovic off the dribble. The ball almost went in, but is out, and it's Napier on the fast break. Finds Vochtman, who swings it to Edwards. Edwards wide open. Carson Edwards. Is he going to try to go for a similar performance like he did last week against Maccabi on the road? He had 7 3-pointers in the third quarter alone. 33 total. They really need him. A difference stands at 13. It's Goodrich who misses as Hayes Davis after the long rebound. Wide open. Nobody has the time to go and bother his shot. That's a painful situation there for the home side. After the miss by Edwards, it's Booker inside on the spin move as he fades away from Ken Burge. That's a good physical play for Devin Booker, who was out almost 3 months with a leg injury, but now in full practice and in the lineup. Hayes Davis, another 3-pointer, counting down. Number 8 scorer, and the competition is sizzling hot in Bavaria. He is playing with so much self-confidence. Give the assist to Tarek Biberovic. 17 for Hayes Davis. Good fake and the drive by Carson Edwards, who was fouled by Goodrich. Fenerbahce is just playing some smart basketball, sharing the ball, finding the open shooter. Here the foul on Edwards. And here wide open, Nigel Hayes Davis, point number 17. A double team on Edwards by the half-court line. He somehow waltzes in, misses everything, but it's Booker with the offensive rebound. Not a good defensive challenge by Ken Burge. Nothing easy underneath the basket. Hayes Davis immediately go for 3, but misses that time. It's Lucic with the rebound. Napier trying to find an opening. He dumps it down to Vochtman, who loses the ball. Another turnover for Bayern. That's just really troubling the home side. Biberovic on the fast break, counted, wide open jumper. It was from good 5.5 meters. I think he would have heard something from Coach Jasikevicius if he would have missed that shot. Tarek Biberovic. Biberovic, 9 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. Booker, wide open, knocks down the 3-pointer. Finally, a 3-pointer goes down. Assist goes to Napier. It's 4 out of 17 for Bayern. McCollum with the 3-pointer on the other side. It's Eric McCollum, 3 out of 4. It is so difficult the way that Fenerbahce is moving the ball to cover all the shooters. Almost impossible for Bayern. And you can hear the fans, the traveling fans of Fenerbahce. Hear the foul on Carson Edwards. And a wide open shot for Devin Booker. Booker is up to double digits, 10 points to go with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. And a miscue between Lucic and Napier, as there was a turnover. Number 13 for Bayern. It's just probably, I've seen 13-14 games of Bayern this season. And it's just really the mentally dullest game I've seen by Bayern to play. Of course, it's tough physicality that Fenerbahce presents and brings to the house here. And they just have not been able to meet the challenge so far. Foul on Napier. Or the ball was tipped out by Napier, so the ball stays with Fenerbahce, and it's a moving screen by Nico Melli as Carson Edwards just flies to the ground on the high pick. There you see Nico Melli just shaking his head in disbelief. Now the call was made. It's a 19-point lead for Fenerbahce, 59-40, with 5:51 to go in the third quarter. Lucic driving, but well covered by Biberovic. The long rebound goes to Vochtman, who tried to lob it in. Just didn't really see. A good path for the pass to go inside. And there you see it. The ball touches the knee or the leg of Vladimir Lucic, goes out of bounds. It's 14 team turnovers as Biberovic misses a good look from the outside. Booker to Napier, and a collision between Devin Hall and Devin Booker. There you see, they just kind of tangle up. Booker holds his own, but it's down to Hall. Who's called with the foul? That is the explanation from the crew chief, Damir Javor. As that was team foul number 5. That puts Bayern in the bonus, so 2 free throws coming up for Devin Booker. He makes the first one, being the high scorer at the moment. That's free throw number 6 coming up. 5 out of 6. There's the stat line from the free throw line for Devin Booker, who's up to 12 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. Trying to find a way to get back into the game for the home side as Eric McCollum shoots another 3-pointer, but no box out there for Johannes Vochtman or Nico Melli, who just got the rebound, fake and a drive by Melli out to Hayes Davis. Hayes Davis with another 3-pointer. Oh my! What a painful experience there for Bayern Munich after playing good defense. Hayes Davis makes him pay. Oh, and a quick shot on the other side. Carson Edwards draws all the contact, hands in the air, and scores. 44-62, still an 18-point lead for Fenerbahce. Biberovic from the free throw line. He is deadly. Absolutely deadly from that spot. That is his shot. That's exactly what Coach Jasikevičius wants him to do. Come from the weak side, off the dribble. That's Darek Biberovic at his best. Look at it on the replay. Look at the shooting motion, the technique, the footwork. High marks on all these actions. The 3-pointer by Nico Melli. It is all Fenerbahce here in the SAP Garden. Fenerbahce 64, Bayern 44 in the third. Well, it's time of the game to check the Turkish Airlines flight time. That means the flyer that spent most time in the air while making a shot. And it's Bonzi Colson on the fast break after the steal. He hangs in the air just long enough to be the Turkish Airlines flight time. Fenerbahce fans just loving it right behind the bench of the Turkish teams, the numerous supporters of the Turkish side turning up here in the SAP Garden in Munich. A super important game in the standings, especially for the home side that can finish as high as 4th, but also as low as 10th. As you look at Andy Ups, who's about to check in the game, should Carson Edwards make his free throws, or the second one, I should say. The first one is good. .33 points for Carson Edwards last week against Maccabi. He's gonna get a breather after making 2 free throws. 9 points so far for Carson Edwards in the game here today against Fenerbahce. It's Andy Ups into the lineup, who missed 3 3-point attempts in the first half. It's Hayes Davis to Melly, who was wide open on the baseline. Biberovic fakes and drives, draws a contact, and the foul from Goodbye. Again, a very smart basketball. Bayern has to scramble as they try to push up there defensively. And Fenerbahce is just reading it perfectly. The situation when a defending player is coming up at you, drawing the foul, that time Biberovic. McCollum to Melly. To Hayes Davis. The high scorer goes for another 3-pointer, misses that time. McCollum almost tipped it in. The shortest player in the lineup. A gutsy play by Eric McCollum. Brankovic goes for a 3. Perhaps not a shot that you want your tallest man to take, but he was wide open and he's a good shooter. It's another miss by Andy Ups, who's really struggling there to find his mark. After clearly for the majority part of the season being one of the best shooters in the whole competition. Now he has to play defense and makes a foul against Devon Hall. Andy Ups. They're trying to force Hall to the baseline, but uses his hand to stop the dribble. 3:23 left in the third quarter. It is an 18-point lead of Fenerbahce over Bayern, 64-46. Hayes Davis with the ball, goes one-on-one against Brankovic, who fouls him. That's number 14 foul, so still only out of bounds play. But next one will be free throws. Clearly Danko Brankovic overmatched with the quickness of Hayes Davis. In a one-on-one situation from the 3 there, you see it again. It's a good recognition. Immediately Hayes Davis recognizing the mismatch in speed against Danko Brankovic. Wade Baldwin, the ball is tipped out. Ends up in the hands of Giffey. Giffey dribbling, goes all the way and misses. Almost coast to coast, but it's going to be 2 free throws instead for Niels Giffey. The 2-time former NCAA champion with University of Connecticut. And the team captain of the arch rivals Alba Berlin. As we have a first-time check-in for Honoral Bitten, a player that's been signed during the season by Bayern Munich. Has not seen consistent minutes that he would like, Honoral Bitten. Well, let's see if he can contribute today, as his club needs him the most, trying to climb back into the game against very dominant Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul. 2 free throws were good. It's 48-64. Ball into Hayes Davis. Column. Lots of passes there with Fenerbahce. It's Hall getting the shot blocked by Brankovic. It's Giffey off to the races. And handed back, and It's Wilder Bad that calls the signal. Ops from a long distance, misses it short. Almost a standard shot for Andy Ops, but not sure about his shot selection if he's been 0 for 5 so far. Devin Hall looking inside to Hayes Davis. That was a good intention there to extend the pass to cutting Nico Melli. Perhaps a little bit too much force on the dump pass, on the touch pass. Still a 16-point lead for Fenerbahce. It's Giffard with the three-pointer. A player that is patient in the shot selection, making it a game here in the SAP Garden. Bayern is not going anywhere through the hands of Niels Giffard, who knocked down a three-pointer from up top, and it's a 13-point game, and we had a timeout on the floor. Bayern 51, Fenerbahce 64.
Shoulder and floor. And here's the chair. Here's the chair. Here's the deal. You take this screen here. I will take that screen there. There's something. It's gonna clear up Donko. Donko, you're gonna go, don't get. You're gonna get healed right there. Good. Let's go. Hard side, hip four.
Well, after being down 22 in the third quarter, it's Bayern Munich coming back. Down only 13 at the moment with 1:55 left in the third quarter. Momentum slightly shifting to the home side with the last three-point play by Niels Giffard that you see here on your screen. Nice step in to the long distance shot. Only 5 of 21 so far. A very dismal shooting performance, but nonetheless, the energy level has risen substantially by Bayern. McCollum over Brankovic, a tough shot using his quickness and agility. Danko Brankovic just too slow to bother the shot by the team veteran Eric McCollum, 37 years of age. Obst, well pressured by the half-court line, bit him, driving after the fake. He finds Giffard. That's a very tough shot, and Brankovic did not have enough time as the ball didn't touch the rim, so the shot clock was not reset. Hall, a tough take. Well, the offensive foul is called as he cleared out Brankovic, who tried to challenge the shot. There, Devin Hall. The basket was scored, was in, but it's waved off by the referees. That's a fairly tough call, but he did extend his left elbow in the face of Danko Brankovic, who stands at 2.17 meters, the tallest player on Bayern's roster. Wilder bad with a three-pointer that was well short. And a fast made by Wade Baldwin. Thank you very much. That is spectacular athletic basketball by Fenerbahce. Making Bayern pay dearly. Ups inside to Brankovic, who goes immediately up against Dechampierre. That's a good quick reaction, and here the alley-oop. Wade Baldwin cocks it back. The traveling fans of Fenerbahce loving it. Look at the athletic play, the extension, the flying motion. It is showtime. by Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul here in the SAP Garden. One of the best athletes at the small forward position, Wade Baldwin, the fourth. Played 2 great previous seasons of basketball with Maccabi Tel Aviv. Signed for Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul from this season. The first free throw by Brankovic was good. And the second one is off as Baldwin sort of tipped it out and got the rebound. There you see the quickness, the leaping ability of Wade Baldwin. Baldwin going one-on-one against Wilder Bab, dumps it to Deschamps Pierre. Pierre has to shoot it as the horn is off. It is the third quarter being over, with Fenerbahce still comfortably in the lead by 16 points. After somewhat allowing Bayern Munich to get back into the game, it is Bayern Munich 52, Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul 68 after 30 minutes of play. Well, one three-pointer by Carson Edwards sort of lifted the spirits of Bayern Munich, but it was very effective. Nigel Hayes-Davis from the outside, the top scorer for Fenerbahce. And another three-pointer from the other side just kept the home side at bay. Here, Devin Booker with his long-distance shot, but it was Tarik Biberovic just playing very effective basketball there off the dribble. Free throw line jumper. Carson Edwards tried to get things going for the home side. It is down by 16 points. Let's review the stats. A very low percentage, only 22% from the three after shooting 39.3 for the season. And leading the competition as the best three-point shooting team, Bayern Munich, in a game that has big implications on their standings, on their final standings at the end of the regular season. Unfortunately for Bayern Munich, their shooters not having a best day. The best performer, Nigel Hayes-Davis, with his outside shooting. It's 9 points and 2 assists. The top performer of the third quarter. Getting a breather at the moment. He's up to 20 points and 5 assists, Nigel Hayes-Davis. As the home fans are on their feet trying to boost the energy for their players. And we'll start the fourth quarter with Andy Ops standing there on the baseline. Down 16 at the moment, 68-52 from the perspective of Beko Fenerbahce. And again, the aggressive defense, something that Coach Jasikevic has called for. A playoff mentality, should you call it. A playoff focus. Andy Ops, is he finally going to knock it down? Yes, he does. Sharp shooting, Andy Ops has checked into the building. 1 out of 6 so far, but he can score in bunches as Carson Edwards fights for the ball. He ends up on the floor. A gutsy play, a hard play, and challenge to Wade Baldwin. At the half-court line there, you see it in the slow motion there, the collision between the players. And over and back violation. A replay of the first three-pointer by Andy Ops. And that is something that brings smiles to the faces of Bayern's fans. Down by 13 with a chance to cut the deficit lower. Nick Weiler-Bab, there Andy Ops, 1 of 6 only so far. Let's see if he can find his mark in a hurry. 9:32 left in the fourth quarter. Weiler-Bab gets a screen from Brankovic. Brankovic rolls to the basket, but it's Weiler bad with a long three-pointer, missed it. And a rebound by Bonzi Colson. Good box out on Brankovic. Inside to Dechampierre. There's a huge difference there in weight between Dechampierre inside and Niels Giffey. There you see it. So Niels Giffey just reaches in and commits the foul. Takes one for the team. That's the first team foul. Number 3 for Giffey. Goodrich. Colson inside to Burge. Colson back and knocks down another three-pointer. That is a hard breaker there for Bayern. And number 14, three-pointer for the visitors inside Carson Edwards between the two big men. This jumps in and changes the direction. That is such a tough play for the number 2 leading scorer in Euroleague competition. Inside to Dechampierre. Out he goes to Baldwin. Up top to Colson. Colson spins to the left, nothing there. Goodrich. Off the dribble, beats the shot clock, but Bonzi Colson is there for the offensive rebound, just surrounded by Bayern's players. It's absolute dogfight at the moment. The ball ends up in the hands of Bayern's players. Fast break, 2-1 to Brankovic. Hello! Danko Brankovic is running the fast break. Getting the pass from Nick Weiler back. And we got a ball game here in the SAP Garden, but no, sir, says Bonzi Colson as he takes it hard. Oh, it was Ken Burge, I beg your pardon. Saw it from the bad angle. Here the hard challenge at Danko Brankovic. Ken Burge, himself a very athletic player, just flies in. Here the fast break. The last spectacular play finished by the dunk by Danko Brankovic. That's what you get, big fella, if you're running the floor. The guards will reward you, as did Nick Weiler back. It's 2 free throws. First one good, and the second one as well for Ken Burge, the Canadian international that spent the last 6 seasons in the NBA. Oh, almost a costly turnover for Bayern. Well, the bad just recovers it at the last second. Ups with the ball. Well pressured by Baldwin. It's Carson Edwards from up top with a three-pointer. What a tough shot that was. Well, Fenerbahce just playing such a hard defense on the ball. And Bayern barely got any chance to pass the ball. The turnover by Wade Baldwin. He stepped out of the bounds, but give a lot of credit there to Weiler. That just really put a pressure on the dribbler. It's Gordy Herbert signaling to his players that have a chance in a long, long time to cut the deficit to single digits. Deficit stands at 11 at the moment with 7:10 to play in the fourth quarter. It's ups to Giffey. Giffey inside the ball is swatted by Ken Burge or Dechampierre. He was surrounded by both of the players. Danko Brankovic stops a fast break with the foul. That will be team foul number 3. There, it's a smart play, as it would have been a wide open three-pointer for Fenerbahce there in the corner. Here the tough three-pointer by Carson Edwards over Marko Goodrich, who tried to distract the shot. Goodrich driving inside to Pierre. Nice reverse shot by Dechampierre. And a quick take on the other side by Carson Edwards, who is just refusing to give up. There you see him against Ken Burge. And here's a nice reverse lane there by Dechampierre. Well, we got Niels Giffey and Nick Weiler-Babb checking out of the game for Bayern, with Vladimir Lucic and Shabazz Napier checking into the lineup. That's a rare miss there for Carson Edwards, who's a great free throw shooter, 80+%. There you saw what he thought about that miss. That's 15 points for Carson Edwards after scoring 33 last round against Maccabi on the road. And scoring 20.3 points on average in the first 33 rounds of the competition. Again, very active hands, a quick reach in by Carson Edwards, who just slipped and couldn't reach further or to collect the ball and go for the steal. Carson Edwards, best season of his Euroleague career, without a question. Has really grown so much in confidence in his scoring, taking it to the basket or scoring from the outside. Had 9 3-pointers last week against Maccabi. Carson Edwards. Hall. Devin Hall misses. The ball just rolls out of the rim. It is a 12-point lead. It's Edwards inside, and the lead is down to 10 for Fenerbahce, and Coach Jasikevičius has seen enough. He wants to talk it over, calls a timeout immediately. He does not want this game to slip away from Fenerbahce. It is a timeout on the floor in the fourth quarter. FC Bayern Munich 65, Fenerbahce Istanbul 75.
We go Alex, we go Eric, we go Nico and Nigel. We got 2 fucking fouls to give. If Edwards is coming, crowd him, but no left. Here. Nigel, pick. Play fake, pick and roll, pass to Marco. No zone 14.
Well, Carson Edwards turning it on in the second half. Scoring on the drives. Here the reverse. They're just stepping into the tough three-pointer. Carson Edwards. And number 3 scorer in the competition, closing in on his season average of 20.3 points. Currently 17 in a game that can have huge implications for Bayern in their final standings. 6:11 to go, still down by 10. Trying to play defense the home side, pressuring up on the ball. And the ups against Biberovic. Biberovic to Melli. Melli from the corner just misses long. And let's see. Referee, the last touch was by Bayern's players. There should be a few ticks of a second left. The referees might review when the ball went out of bounds. That's what I think they will do just now at the scores table.
When the ball is out, go forward now. You can go frame by frame. Go back.
One back. We still don't have...
Another one, I think. Go back, back.
That's the point. But still, it's 0.2.
Go back another one. Okay, go forward. This is the point.
No, this is the point.
Okay.
0.2, 5:57.
Okay, okay.
Good work by the referees to exactly say how much time was left on the shot clock. It should be 0.2 seconds and 5:57. Well, the only chance is for a tip-in after the pass from the out of bounds. There is not enough time to gather up for a regular shot, so that's why Danko Brankovic is checking into the game to put pressure on the passer, which is Marko Guduric. There you see him, Danko Brankovic, with his long arms, trying to make it very difficult for Guduric to get a good look at the basket, and the tip-in was missed by Biberovic. So it's Bayern trying to cut it down in the single digits as the Turkish fans are going absolutely crazy and making a great atmosphere here at the SAP Garden. Brankovic up top to Lucic. Lucic launches a three-pointer, was flat and long to the left, but long rebounds. Ends up in the hands of Shabazz Napier, who hands it off to Edwards. Edwards driving, and the ball was blocked from behind by Hayes Davis. A tip-in by Brankovic is off too, and it's Eric McCollum. Makes a step back. The last touch was by Booker. Hayes Davis is really fighting there for the offensive rebound, getting a lot of credit to keep the ball alive. There's the miss by McCollum. Here, a tip-in between Brankovic and Lucic. Just Bayern cannot get over the hump and get it into single digits. Guduric. Biberovic driving a smart play to read the defender coming at you. Shabazz Napier gets called for the foul. Just really so much maturity in the game of Tarik Biberovic, who's averaging career best 10 points per game. Really stepping up his game and getting into the short rotation for Fenerbahce Istanbul. Tarik Biberovic. The steal by Lucic. Edwards from good 9 meters. Bang, bang, bang. Carson Edwards cutting it down to 7 points. The lowest lead for Fenerbahce. And well, everybody is just fired up. So is Carson Edwards. Under 5 minutes to play. McCollum, can he counter? No, he does not. It's Lucic with the rebound. A short three-pointer by McCollum. Edwards with the ball. Is he going to go first? Oh, he turns it over. It's Nico Melli. Nico Melli on the other side makes Bayern pay dearly. Just steals the ball, plays the passing lane perfect. That is the experience that you get from a player like Nico Melli in his 13th Euroleague season with a steal and a basket. We get a timeout on the floor in the fourth. Bayern 68, Fenerbahce 77. Well, no panic. That's what Gordy Herbert says. Here is the steal by Vladimir Lucic. And a long three-point bomb by Carson Edwards. That made it a 7-point game. But here, the heads-up play, the veteran play by Nico Melli, who silenced the crowd here at the SAP Garden with a steal and a breakaway dunk. Nico Melli, 34 years of age in his 13th Euroleague season. On his second stint with Fenerbahce, Beko. Oh, and another turnover, a really costly one off the timeout. Bayern just not able to execute. Baldwin against Giffey inside. They go to the post to Hayes Davis. Against Edwards, pass out to Melli. 5 to shoot on the shot clock. Biberovic is going to have to do something quick. He does off the dribble, misses. And it's Napier with the rebound. Edwards with a quick three-pointer on the fast break. You cannot get him the light of the day. It's Carson Edwards show here in the SAP Garden. He never gives up. Up to 23 points, scoring 33 last week against Maccabi on the road. Carson Edwards is in the building. Almost a steal by Bayern, and it's Hayes Davis just pressured by two guards. Lots more about quicker players around him. And the Ops and Shabazz Napier really making it difficult on Hayes Davis, who just could not thread the needle and get the pass out. Melli with a long three-point shot, misses, and the last touch by Bayern as Biberovic tipped it out. Must have been one of the Bayern's players making the last touch. We got 14 seconds of reset on the shot clock, 3:04 on the game clock. It's a 6-point game. An absolute thriller from a game that looked like a foregone conclusion. Fenerbahce was up by 22 points in the third quarter, but now it's Bayern's ball and a 6-point game. Gordy Herbert is signaling thumb up. That's what's the play coming up. The screen by Booker to Edwards. Edwards to Napier. Nothing there. We got 8 to shoot. Edwards gonna take it on himself. He steps back, launches a three-pointer. That looked good, but missed it bit long. That would have bring the house down if Carson Edwards made that one. Hayes Davis out to Baldwin. Biberovic crosses over against Giffey. Baldwin driving to the middle. McCollum with a tough three-pointer, well guarded by Napier, but the long rebound goes to Baldwin. Baldwin is not rushing anything as we are approaching the 2-minute mark. Inside a tough battle there between Hayes Davis and Giffey, but a foul on the ball. It's Carson Edwards. Now it's on Devin Booker, I beg your pardon. That's a smart play there by Wade Baldwin, using his quickness to get away from Devin Booker, drawing the foul, and 2 free throws. As Bayern has committed fouls, it's free throws on any foul situation for Fenerbahce. The first free throw by Baldwin is good. He has not missed a free throw. 4 out of 4. Perfect from the free throw line. Wade Baldwin, 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. As we have a timeout on the floor, Gordy Herbert and Bayern wanted to talk it over. Down 8 points, Bayern 71, Fenerbahce 79.
Get the ball here, and you're coming right here. He'll just cut through. And you're coming off right there. All right, does that happen? No. If you can't get the ball together, Hey, you gotta go get Carson right there. All right, but when the ball gets there and Andy comes, you go get Carson right there. All right, we're looking for that right there. If you have fast offensive board,
Well, being down 22 points in the third quarter, it's never give up attitude that Bayern Munich is showing in the fourth quarter. We are precisely 2 minutes away from the end of the fourth quarter. Down 8 points at the moment. Bayern with a chance to execute a play after the timeout with Niels Giffey ready to inbound the ball on the left side by the cross from the Fenerbahce bench. Let's see if they go for a 2 or 3-pointer. There's still plenty of time left. But Bayern's still going to have to play some tough defense. Edwards with a 3-pointer, misses long, but it's Giffey with the offensive rebound. Napier loses the ball, and the ball is picked up by Nigel Hayes-Davis as Goodrich just passed it off in time not to be called for the charge. Biberovic playing the clock against Andy Obst, takes him down to the block where he's got advantage. Goodrich driving to the middle, goes left, kisses it off the glass. This could be the decisive basket of the game. Marco Goodrich with a perfect execution. The shot clock winding down. He played it great. There he takes the contact from Carson Edwards. Nice drive, switches the hands in the air, and just scores the basket. A 10-point lead for Fenerbahce with 1:27. We're going to have Vladimir Lucic checking into the game in place of Niels Giffey, has fouled out of the game with 5 personal fouls. So the game has ended for Niels Giffey, who had 9 points and 5 rebounds. A free throw scored by Marco Goodrich, making it an 11-point game. And the Obst, and another turnover, a miscue between Napier and Obst, making that a turnover number 18. That's a very high number for Bayern Munich, especially at home. They are usually very sharp with not turning the ball over in this building. Nigel Hayes-Davis plays it calm. He plays it with so much confidence. 22 points for Nigel Hayes-Davis. In the corner is Andy Obst with a tough 3-pointer as he lost the balance. Not a perfect shot pass. On the other side, it's a quick take by Hayes-Davis, who was fouled on the way to the basket, and it is a celebration time with only 43.8 seconds left and 13-point lead for Fenerbahce. Their fans that have made it here to the SAP Garden in Munich can start celebrating and see where this win takes Fenerbahce. They can place as high as first, and the worst possible scenario would be third, depending on the other game's results. Well, actually, with the win, I don't think they can place third, as Nigel Hayes-Davis makes the first free throw. There you have his tally. 23 points, 24 points, I should say, with the second free throw. He's going to go to the bench, being the high scorer again. Nigel Hayes-Davis. Coming to this game, he had 12 games in this season of 20 or more points. So this will be game number 13 of more than 20 points for Nigel Hayes-Davis, who made the first All-Euroleague team last season, and strongly making a statement to repeat that honor again this season. as he has improved his scoring average from last season. A three-point play by Devin Booker, which is going to be too late, too little, as Bayern cuts it down to 12. 74-86. Baldwin taking some clicks off the clock. Crosses over, goes with a three-pointer, knocks it down over Devin Booker, making it an exclamation point in this game on the road. Carson Edwards correcting things here with a three-pointer of his own. So that's 26 points for Carson Edwards as the horn sounds. It is over here at the SAP Garden, and it is a tough road victory and a bounce to the winning ways for Fenerbahce Istanbul that played almost a perfect game here, offensively and defensively, against a very tough and feisty team, the home team, FC Bayern Munich, that is tasting a bitterness of defeat only for the 5th time in the season here at home at the SAP Garden. Here you have the final score. It's FC Bayern Munich 77, Fenerbahce